Today we're going to discuss one of the biggest issues in modern genealogy and online family history research: the spread of misinformation through copied online trees and unsourced claims. Websites and apps have made genealogy more accessible than ever before, which is wonderful in many ways. But they have also created an environment where incorrect information can spread extremely quickly. In this presentation, we'll talk about why online trees are not automatically reliable, how misinformation spreads, the dangers of gatekeeping in genealogy communities, and why responsible research requires critical thinking, documentation, historical context, and sometimes humility. One of the most important things for beginners to understand is that public online family trees are usually user-generated. That means anyone can create one. Some users are highly skilled researchers. Others are complete beginners. And many people simply copy information from another tree without verifying whether it is actually correct. Over time, those copy errors spread everywhere. Eventually, people begin assuming the information must be true simply because they see the same claim repeated over and over again across dozens or even hundreds of trees. But repetition is not evidence. A copied mistake is still a mistake. Genealogy misinformation often spreads exactly like misinformation on social media. One person makes an assumption or mistake, another person copies it, then another, and another. Eventually, thousands of people may repeat the exact same incorrect information. This is especially common with royal ancestry claims, famous relative connections, unsupported ethnic identities, and family legends presented as proven fact without evidence. Once misinformation spreads widely enough, correcting it becomes incredibly difficult because people become emotionally attached to the version they already believe. Apps like We're Related and other ancestry connection tools can absolutely be fun and engaging. But people need to understand where that information is coming from. Many of these systems rely heavily on public online trees and crowdsourced genealogy data. As far as I am aware, there is no massive professional team individually vetting every ancestral claim or family tree connection across these platforms. That means incorrect information can easily become part of the system. So while these tools can be entertaining and sometimes helpful as clues or starting points, they should never be treated as absolute proof without additional research and documentation. Another major issue in genealogy communities is gatekeeping. Some individuals begin treating themselves as though they own certain ancestral lines or historical narratives. When new information appears or when someone presents oral history or alternative evidence, those claims may be aggressively dismissed instead of carefully evaluated. This becomes especially sensitive when discussing Native American ancestry, mixed communities, or historically marginalized groups that did not always leave behind extensive Western paper trail documentation. Many populations preserved history through oral tradition instead. That does not automatically make every oral tradition true, but it also does not mean oral history should be automatically dismissed. Good genealogy requires balance, context, and careful investigation. One of the reasons genetic genealogy has become so important is because DNA sometimes challenges long-accepted assumptions. In some cases, DNA confirms family stories that documentation alone could not prove. In other cases, DNA disproves ideas that researchers accepted for generations. This is why good genealogy should never rely on only one type of evidence. Paper records matter, DNA matters, oral traditions matter, historical context matters. The best researchers are willing to evaluate all available evidence together, rather than becoming emotionally attached to a single narrative. At the end of the day, responsible genealogy requires critical thinking. Good researchers verify information instead of blindly copying it. They question assumptions, they compare evidence, and perhaps most importantly, they remain willing to admit when something is uncertain or still unproven. Genealogy is not about winning arguments. It is about pursuing historical truth as honestly and carefully as possible. And sometimes the most responsible answer a researcher can give is, "We still don't know yet." Thank you so much for joining me for this presentation on misinformation and critical thinking in genealogy research. I hope this discussion encourages researchers to approach online family trees with curiosity, caution, and a commitment to proper source evaluation. In future presentations, we'll continue exploring DNA evidence, online genealogy myths, Native American genealogy research, historical records, chromosome mapping, and responsible genealogical methodology. If you enjoyed this presentation, please like, subscribe, follow, and share.